What if the greatest threat to your peace isn't the loss of someone you love, but the way you try to hold on? Picture this. You're standing on a cliff, fingers gripping the edge of a crumbling ledge, desperate to keep what's already slipping. That fear, that urgency, it's deeply human. But it's also the very thing pulling you down. In a galaxy far away, Anakin Skywalker fell into that same trap. Not because he was weak, but because he couldn't let go. And yet his story is not just fiction. It mirrors a truth we all face when love turns into attachment and attachment into fear, clarity vanishes. But what if the answer isn't to fight harder, but to step back? Stoicism offers a different path, one of calm distance, of regaining perspective before emotion consumes you. So before you let your heart drag you deeper into chaos, pause, breathe, and come with us on a journey that doesn't teach you how to win someone back, but how to return to yourself. The fall of Anakin Skywalker from the heart of a Jedi to the shadows of the dark side isn't just a gripping tale from the galaxy of Star Wars. It's a powerful reflection of something far more personal, more universal, the dangerous weight of emotional attachment. Imagine loving someone so deeply, so fiercely, that you'd risk everything, even your soul, just to keep them from slipping away. That was Anakin's path, driven by fear, desperation, and the overwhelming need to save Padme. But what happens when that fear of loss becomes reality? What do we do when the very thing we cling to begins to fall through our fingers, no matter how tightly we hold on? Though his descent is extreme, the core of Anakin's fear is deeply human. It mirrors something many of us face, the anxiety of losing someone or something we love. And in that fear, we often act recklessly, holding on tighter sometimes, to the point of breaking ourselves in the process. This isn't just the story of a galaxy far, far away. It's a mirror to our own lives, and it connects powerfully with the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Today, we're diving deep into that connection. Through the lens of detachment, loss, and clarity, we'll explore how ancient Stoic principles can help us navigate the emotional storms of human relationships. This isn't abstract theory. It's practical wisdom you can apply right now, especially when your heart feels overwhelmed or your mind clouded with emotion. And it all begins with one essential step, taking a step back. The first lesson is simple but powerful. Create some distance from the person or situation. Not to build walls, but to create space for clarity. Picture yourself at a crowded party, music blaring, voices overlapping the room, buzzing with energy. In the middle of all that, your friend tries to whisper something important to you. Can you hear them? Probably not. That's exactly what happens when we stay too close to emotional chaos. Our inner voice, our judgment, gets drowned out in the noise. Stepping back is like leaving the party to a quiet room. Suddenly, the whisper becomes clear. You're able to hear your own thoughts again. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once advised, as often as you travel, return to yourself. It's not just about physical distance, it's mental, emotional space as well. When you're too entangled, your feelings distort reality. But from a distance, you can observe your emotions like clouds floating across a vast sky. You start to see that these feelings are not you. They're passing, shifting, and separate from your true self. Detachment in this sense is not about becoming cold or disconnected. It's about seeing the whole chessboard instead of fixating on a single piece. It's about reclaiming perspective and with it, control. You don't need to retreat to a remote villa in the mountains like the Stoics of ancient times. Start small. Turn off your phone for an hour. Take a quiet walk. Sit alone in a room just listening to your breath. These little pockets of silence are where your real power begins to return. That's where decision-making transforms, no longer driven by panic or fear, but by clarity and peace. And that brings us to the next crucial step, a lesson that will show you how to navigate emotional waters with even more wisdom and strength. Let's explore that in the next part. After taking that vital first step, creating distance to gain clarity, we now arrive at the deeper work, thinking through that distance with reason. It's not enough to step back physically. The true transformation begins when we anchor ourselves in calm thought and inner wisdom. That pause, that space is your moment of power, your breath of fresh air beyond the fog of urgency. And this brings us to the second step. Consider the rational choice behind distancing yourself from someone. Choosing to step away is not a rash move. It's not driven by impulse or fueled by emotion. Rather, it's a deliberate decision grounded in rational thought and personal values, just as Stoicism encourages. Imagine your life as a ship on a vast ocean and the people around you as the winds and currents. Some push you gently forward, steadying your course. Others steer you toward storms, toward chaos. You, as the captain of your ship, must decide which winds to harness and which storms to avoid. This is not avoidance. This is wisdom in direction. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who transformed his own life from slavery to profound philosophical insight, taught the importance of choosing relationships that align with our sense of inner freedom. His life reminds us of a simple truth: not everyone who enters your life brings light. Some cast long shadows that dim your own brightness. So take a step back and reflect. Are your relationships like mirrors revealing joy, growth, and mutual understanding? Or do they reflect discomfort, self-doubt, and confusion? Choosing to walk away from someone doesn't mean you've given up. It means you've chosen to protect your peace and preserve your integrity. Stoicism isn't cold or mechanical. At its heart, it is warm, compassionate wisdom. It asks us to consider, does this person add harmony to your life like a beautiful melody, or do they disrupt your rhythm like a jarring note in an otherwise peaceful song? Let Epictetus's words stay with you. We are not disturbed by events, but by our judgments about them. This step is not just about the person you're stepping away from, it's about how you perceive their presence in your life. Are they a chapter that encourages your growth, or a distracting footnote that pulls you off course? In the end, choosing distance can be one of the most honest acts of self-respect. It is about shaping a life story you'll be proud to tell, one where every person and every experience is a thoughtful, intentional addition to your journey. And once you've created that space and reassessed your path, it's time to reach out, not to just anyone, but to someone you trust deeply, someone who can help you navigate when your own compass begins to waver. Let's talk about that next. After grounding yourself with distance and gaining clarity through conversation with someone you trust, it becomes time to turn inward again and refine how you relate to your own emotions. Because even with a clear mind and a supportive friend, the real challenge often lies in managing what stirs within us. This brings us to the third step, learning to navigate emotions by setting healthy boundaries for what we feel. Sharing your inner world with someone trustworthy is not just about exchanging words. It's an invitation into your inner landscape, a quiet opening where thoughts and emotions are reflected honestly. This sharing builds a space of understanding where support flows both ways, not only in sympathy, but also through the wisdom born from mutual trust. Choose this confidant with care, someone whose values resonate with the person you aim to become. This person becomes your sounding board, helping you untangle the knot of your emotions and guiding your perspective with calm presence. They don't need to offer solutions. Often, their simple act of listening is enough. Their presence is a gentle reminder that even when you feel adrift, you're not sailing this sea of life alone. And in the process of opening up, you might hear reflections in their voice that echo clarity. Small, honest truths that help you see your situation from a different angle. Stoicism reminds us that life's trials are best faced with a steady mind and a circle of support. Your trusted confidant is part of this circle, a living example that strength often comes from unity. Distancing yourself from someone or something doesn't mean isolating yourself from all connection. In fact, it is within meaningful human connections that we find the strength and clarity to move forward. These conversations become more than words. They become bridges, helping you cross over from confusion to insight, from emotional noise to inner peace. In an ever-changing sea of uncertainty, they serve as anchors, keeping you from drifting too far from your center. And now we arrive at the fourth step, establishing emotional boundaries. Imagine yourself as the captain of a ship caught in a storm. Each wave is a surge of emotion, powerful, unpredictable, and capable of capsizing your course if left unchecked. Stoicism doesn't ask us to ignore the waves. It teaches us to ride them with awareness and skill. It's about knowing when to yield to the tide and when to hold the wheel with resolve. Feelings are natural, yes, but left without structure, they can sweep you away from the path you've chosen. The key lies in allowing yourself to feel without giving those emotions command over your direction. Epictetus, with his deep understanding of the soul, reminds us it is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our view of them. That shift in perspective becomes the gatekeeper of our emotional space, like a sentinel who greets each emotional visitor, recognizing them, but refusing to let any of them run the household that is our inner peace. And when you've built those boundaries, when your ship is steady, even among emotional tides, you're ready to face the next critical question. What are the consequences, real tangible consequences of walking away? Let's look ahead and prepare wisely. Having explored the importance of managing emotions and making thoughtful decisions about detachment, we now turn our attention outward toward the broader impact of those choices. Because Stoicism, while deeply introspective, also asks us to live with harmony in the world around us. So here we arrive at the next step. Reflect on the ripple effects your detachment might create in the lives of others. The Stoics never taught selfish isolation. Instead, they encouraged us to balance our own needs with the well-being of the community. As you consider stepping away from someone or something, ask yourself not only what this means for your personal growth, but whether your actions leave room for misunderstanding, confusion, or unintended harm. Are you nurturing your own clarity and peace while still honoring the shared garden in which we all grow? Or are your footsteps unintentionally crushing the flowers around you? In the Stoic sense, detachment is not a cold severing. It is an act of quiet wisdom, a pause to consider not only how we feel, but how our choices echo through the lives connected to ours. We are not islands. We live in networks of relationships, and true growth honors that interconnection. As you pull away, do so not with bitterness or blame, but with mindfulness and care, with an awareness that your well-being and that of others need not be in conflict. Now, once you've grounded that reflection in your mind, the sixth step invites us to consider a different kind of detachment. One that doesn't involve people directly, but still shapes our minds profoundly. It's time to give yourself a break from social media. Picture your mind as a calm, still lake. Now imagine social media as a constant, unrelenting rain disturbing its surface. Each drop is a ping, a post, a notification, tiny splashes that ripple through your inner stillness, scattering your thoughts. Even though Stoicism was born in an age without screens or apps, its lessons remain startlingly relevant. Seneca, who pondered deeply on the brevity of life, would likely see today's scrolling habits as one of the great distractions of our age. He once said that life is long if you know how to use it. And here lies the wisdom of this step. Reclaim your time, your energy, your attention. In the economy of the digital world, your attention is the currency everyone wants. By stepping back, you aren't simply unplugging from a stream of information. You're stepping into a space where your mind can breathe. Think of it like drawing the curtains in a noisy city apartment. Outside, the world continues to buzz. But inside, just for a little while, you create your own sanctuary. This isn't escapism. It's a powerful form of self-care, a chance to become aware of what truly nourishes you and what drains you. In this space, pay attention. Do you feel lighter, more centered? Are your thoughts clearer, your feelings more your own? That kind of awareness sits at the very heart of Stoic wisdom. It's about knowing what you can control and releasing what you can't. We can't stop the rain. But we can choose whether to stand exposed or to find shelter and listen to it peacefully from within. In today's world, stepping away from social media might feel like stepping off a train that never stops. Suddenly, there is stillness, quiet, and time to reflect. But within that quiet lies clarity. So, as you begin this digital pause, take inspiration from Seneca. Use this time wisely. Read a book. Take a walk. Journal. Engage in activities that feed your soul rather than simply distract it. Because this pause is more than disconnection. It's a reconnection with yourself. A moment to remember who you are beyond the noise, beyond the scrolling, beyond the eyes of others. And as we approach our final step, take a deep breath. If you've made it this far, share a single word that captures what this journey has meant to you so far. Then let's walk the last part of the path together. Having just explored the transformative power of stepping back from digital noise to reconnect with your true self, we now arrive at the final and perhaps most intimate step of this Stoic journey. It's a return inward, a quiet reflection on what truly sustains you. This is where detachment becomes not just a tool, but a philosophy of life. So here we are at the last stage, an intentional focus on your core needs. Not just physical or material ones, but the deeper, quieter needs of the soul. Imagine your inner life as a flourishing garden. What allows it to thrive? Sunlight, water, attentive care. These are not luxuries, they are essentials. In the same way, your emotional and spiritual well-being depends on identifying what truly nurtures you from within. This is the heart of Stoicism, the wisdom of stripping away the unnecessary, of listening closely to what really matters. Take a moment to ask yourself, what are the elements that help you feel grounded, stable, and at peace? Is it time alone in silence, thoughtful conversations with someone who sees you clearly, or perhaps losing yourself in a creative pursuit? This is not about indulging every desire or chasing fleeting pleasures. It is about making deliberate choices to support your inner stability, your personal growth, your moral integrity. Sometimes the path to peace is found not in having more, but in needing less. In today's world, with its endless options and distractions, the real challenge is not the lack of resources, but the lack of focus. To live well is not to chase everything, but to know what to hold on to. This is not deprivation, it's clarity. It's learning to say yes to what nourishes your spirit and no to what drains it. As you continue your journey through life, keep revisiting these core needs. They may change with time, and that's natural. What matters is that you remain aligned with your values, with your sense of purpose, with the version of yourself that you are proud to grow into. This kind of focus becomes your compass, guiding you through life's storms with calm and confidence. To live intentionally is to live with meaning, and in that intention you find the essence of Stoicism, a life led with wisdom, strength, and peace of mind. Along this path of detachment, Stoic philosophy has offered us profound insight and practical steps. It has encouraged us to reflect on why we distance ourselves, to have honest conversations, to define emotional boundaries, to weigh the consequences of our choices, to step away from external noise like social media, and to return at last to the essential self. These teachings are not just intellectual ideas, they are tools for living. They remind us that detachment is not about feeling less, it's about feeling wisely. about cultivating peace without closing our hearts and building resilience without shutting down our emotions. With these Stoic principles in mind, we are better prepared to navigate relationships, loss, and the complex dance of modern life with grace and strength. As we close this journey, we invite you to take a moment and reflect. Which of these steps spoke to you most? Which one will you apply first in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this video brought you value, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more content filled with Stoic insight.